Speaking of, oh my gosh. I guess that's why you use this, folks. Now, of course, in Diablo 2 Resurrected, we want to find really godly, amazing stuff. A lot of those items are uniques. Things like Griffin's Eye, things like Death's Web, things like Wind Force, or maybe you're out there hunting those incredibly rare Grail items, things like Tyrell's Might, Mangsong's Lesson, Death's Fathom. Now, everybody knows about the way to increase the odds of finding these unique items, and that is having a magic find on your character. And me being a magic finder at heart, I always have a good amount of it. But what is the absolute most magic find you can have on a character, and really, how much magic find should you actually have? Now, a build guide, this is absolutely not, but I'm going to show you just what I put together for this absolutely maximum magic find build that you can get in the entire game. If you think I missed or overlooked any of the gear pieces later, feel free to let me know down in the comments, but I think this is the most you could possibly stack up on an individual character. So we got just enough strength and dex to wear your gear, and I put about 3/4 of it into vitality and the remaining there into energy, split that way, just so I get some energy up, because this is actually going to be a caster barb. Now, over on the skill tree, I just put 1 point into leap in case I feel like having a little bit of a movement skill, whatever. But we went ahead and we've got just a 1 point wonders into these 4 down here, pretty standard on every single barb character. We're going to make this a singer barb with a focus on find item. If we're stacking up the magic find, we're going to be looking for those items, am I right? So for the actual damage, we maxed out Warcry down here, and two of the synergies anyways, right here with Battlecry and Howl, and put the remainder there into Taunt. And since we're like magic finding here, I maxed out both find item and find potion. You see, because we're stacking up all magic find on the gear, which you're about to see, we don't have almost any plus skills on this entire character. So jumping in the most important, obviously, this is about stacking up the most magic find you can on a character, and we're going to go with the Barbarian for the specific reason because you can dual wield weapons, and we actually have dual wielded 6-isted phase blades right here. So we aren't actually even going to be attacking with these, it's just stacking up more magic find on this character. So boom, boom, there is 2 180 magic find swords right there. Now up on the top, a lot of times you probably wouldn't use this, but we actually have an Artisan's Diadem of Luck. This has 3 ists in it, and it's actually a magic. Obviously, you can see that. It rolled with the Artisans, which is the 3 open sockets, and of Luck is the maximum of 50% magic find. This is incredibly rare to get. I couldn't imagine how impossible it would be to find one of these. For full transparency, I did have to hero it in all this stuff due to how rare this stuff actually is. Some things like this one right here. Now over here on the amulet, we actually have a blue amulet. This is the max you can get on an amulet from what I've really seen and read. 50% magic find right there on a blue amulet right there. Fortuitous Amulet of Luck. Now here we've got the Scalder's Ire right here with the topaz in it. An absolute classic magic find item right there. And it appears from what I've seen at the highest level that you can be with the topaz in it. This is the most magic find you can get on the armor slot. Over on the gloves, a classic one once again. For those magic finders, we have perfect 40 magic find chance cards. Now on the rings, you might be thinking a unique, but here we actually have 40 magic find rings right here. I don't identify a ton of rings, and I don't gamble rings all the time. I've never found these before. So yeah, like I said, I had to hero edit this stuff in to go ahead and show you exactly what the maximum magic find you could get on a character is right here. On the belt, we have gold wrap. As far as I'm aware, I think the 30 is the most you can get. I don't know if that magic find can go higher than that on like magic items or on rare stuff like that. If it can, if you find out that it can, actually let me know down in the comments, I suppose. But I think gold wrap is the most you can get right here on the belt. Over on the boots, 50 magic find War Travelers, another classic for a ton of magic finders. Now it's not going to be a huge deal. I did go ahead and throw dual whiz spikes on the other side. It's not going to be really that important. Technically, we are doing war cries to deal damage, so you do get just under the 105 breakpoint, actually, because we can't sacrifice anything. So we actually deal damage with these out, cast, cast, cast. When you get down lower, you go ahead and swap over to these right here. And I'll show you how stuff actually really gets killed at the end in just 1 second. But down in the inventory, I have these, a full inventory of 7 magic find small charms. I mean, the 5 all res is just ridiculous. Just for S's and G's, I looked up how much these went for. These weren't hero edited in. If you actually found one of these, I was seeing confirmed trades for 15 jaws. A piece. This is seriously, that's what I've seen on Tradery on the trade site. So just regular 7 magic finds are going for like a few perfect gems. So you just throw those down here if you're stacking up magic find. But like I said, not exactly a build guide. We're just stacking up for the craziest character right here. And we have a 40 magic find guide. So having one of those and all 7 magic find small charms in the inventory, That's the most magic find you can get on your main character, but it's important to look over at the mercenary. Now we're taking advantage of a change that happened in Diablo 2 Resurrected back in LOD. You're not going to end up having this, but now you can actually dual wield swords on the Act 5 mercenary. So we got the Act 5 Frenzy with 2 6-isted phase blades right here. Skulders. I actually just realized you could get one more magic find over on this other one. I don't know why I misthought that. So you can actually get one more magic find on the character with an ist right here. Please do forgive me. The Topaz, 24. The ist you see over there, 25. Up on the helmet, we have the exact same thing we have on our Barbarian. Right here, the Artisan's Diadem of Luck. Now, how much magic find does that leave us with? Now, right here it says we have 1,166. But remember, that's just on our character right here. If we actually let our mercenary get the final kill, our magic find and his will stack together, but only if the mercenary gets the kill on that individual monster. If I kill the monster, only my magic find will stack. So in this particular instance, for this example, we're going to let our mercenary kill the monster, so we have to add his to this. So that would be our 1166 plus 617 right here. And that comes out to 1,783 magic find we have on right here. And there was just that minuscule mistake I made by putting a topaz instead of an ist into that Skulders. So we actually need to bump that up one more magic find. So the most magic find you can stack on a character, from what I see, 1,784 MF. So now that we have this much magic find, how well does having this much MF work on your character? Now, in my guesstimation, I think it's probably going to be somewhere out here. Let's just run out to an easy place, because remember, we have to let our mercenary actually get the kill. That's our Act 5 mercenary, so we're going to hit him with that particular shot right there, let him attack, and then we're going to go ahead and immune to physical. That's going to be a problem. We don't have Sunder Charms or anything like that. Let's go ahead and reset to the next one. So we'll hit up round 2 at attempting this once again. Thresh Shocket, I think it's kind of be the best. You could do Pindle where you howl everybody away, but to be honest, Thresh Shocket's out here all by himself. You can find some good stuff from him out here. So unfortunately, we lured over some other monsters. Kind of one of the issues with this build, I suppose. We're hitting him for some damage. Mercenary actually ripped out those monsters, not too bad. As his health gets a little bit lower here, we're going to wait for it to get right down by the bottom. We're going to stop, switch over, and boom, Mercenary killed him, dropped us a unique bone wand. I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'll just do like 5 runs here and just fast forward through and see if we get anything good with all this magic find stacked up. So I did a few kills and it was what it was. This isn't exactly a build guide. I wouldn't recommend ever trying to stack this much magic find. You just sacrifice too much. Really, in general, you wouldn't have all these crazy 7 magic find 5 all-res charms down here. So your resistances really wouldn't be looking that great. Like I said, these cost 15 Jot runes a piece if you actually try to trade for them online. You're not going to find a bunch of them or something like that on offline single player. On top of that, I know it could have been faster if I went with a Berserking Grief on swap instead, but really when I did that with this particular setup, trying to let my mercenary kill him, what I ended up doing is accidentally killing the monster with, just like I'd Berserk with the Grief, and it would be like down to like a 1/3 health, and either I just had to sit there while a 1/3 of the health the mercenary took away, or I'd swing more in time and it would just kill him. So I decided to go with this way. If you could say it could be faster with the Grief or some other weapons over here, Berserking or something along those lines, feel free to go for it, but that's not really the purpose of this video. Would I ever recommend stacking this much up? No, I would not, because you sacrifice survivability, kill speed, pretty much everything except for magic find. Also, it's probably a good idea for me to fly in right here, video editor Phil, to the rescue. If you haven't seen this diminishing returns chart on magic find, you can see how it curves up and really it starts to flatten out very, very, very quickly once you get over 300, 400. Most people recommend usually you get around somewhere in there, 300 to 500. That's usually the spot where people say that's the most you should really get to, because after that, it's almost going perfectly sideways. Probably 3/4 of the magic find I have on is going to maybe give me about 3, 5, 10% at most better chance of getting unique item. Now I'll go ahead and show you what I think is really the most logical amount of magic find you should ever get on a character. Once again, we are on the Barbarian right here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what I threw together here, and this is the type of build that I would use it on as well. So looking over, just enough strength to wear your gear, and the gear actually bumped it up a bunch when I got to it, which probably gives away what the armor is anyways, just enough dex to wear your gear here. And we put everything else into vitality to keep our character alive. Now, depending on what you're doing, you could always put more in energy. That's going to be up to you. Taking a look at the skill tree, this time we'll go to combat skills, and we're actually going with the Berserker right here because we want to kill stuff as fast as we can. We're not relying on the Mercenary this time. We're going to cap out both the synergies for Berserk as well over here, which is Howl and Battle Orders, both skills that we actually use as well. So they put those two synergies on there real nice for us. Of course, we're looking for magic items, so we went ahead and we put point into find item. I actually capped out find potion, and then I put the remainder of my points into find item. At some point, when you put 2 points into find item, you only get 1%, and then at some level, it actually takes 3 hard points to get 1%. So that's why I went ahead and did it that way. And definitely at this point, every 3 points, I think it was getting me 1% when I dumped the last in there. Over on the combat masteries, we are using a blade, so we got blade mastery maxed out, and we got the 1-point wonders right down there. But of course, Phil, the gear's what's important. And here's how I'd gear up this Berserker Barb, and this is the most magic find I would generally stack on a character, and this is how I would do it. So right here we have a Grief Phase Blade. Everyone knows it is absolutely godly. So Grief, we're throwing on over here. There's other options. Of course, we got the 6-sisted Phase Blade over here still for 180% magic find. Now, we don't really care about defense the general ways this is used, so we went ahead and just stack more magic find over there. Our Shaco up here, excuse me, is an absolutely amazing item to have for any magic finder. The skills, the life, the damage reduction, mana, and yeah, 74 to magic find. Now on the amulet, we actually have one that doesn't have any magic find. You could actually get super lucky and get one that also had magic find to get this a little bit higher. So it's going to be dependent on how your crafts roll or what you can trade for, I suppose. But you want to have at least a 5 FCR caster amulet for a barbarian. That gets you to the 105 breakpoint based upon what we have on our offhand. Now on the armor, gotta have Enigma for the movement speed. I think when you get this high into the magic finds, moving around, clearing maps faster, killing your monsters faster, getting on to the next run is drastically more important than getting more magic find on something like a Scolders. So even though that is the case, we still have 99 here. It's a 99 character. We have magic find based upon character level with all the other great stuff that's on Enigma. We're sticking still with the chance guards. We swapped up the rings though. We go with the Nagels right here. The difficulty of finding 40 magic find rings just is nonsensical. Just don't even worry about it. Just get the 30 magic finders here and slap them on there. We still got the gold wrap. We still got the war travelers, and I spoke about it already, but we'll take a look. We still got the whiz spikes over here. So 50 cast rate, 50 cast rate, and we have 5 FCR right here. That reaches the 105 breakpoint we need to get to for the barbarian. Down in the inventory, we still have our 7 magic find small triumphs down here. We still have our Geeds, but of course, for any normal build, any sane person would have a Torch and Annie down here for their characters. You would not sacrifice those 3 slots down here in your inventory to get a total of 21 magic find at this point. Also, it's important in my book anyways to have a place to put your gear to go ahead and boom, identify it when you do find something good. And boom, of course, here in the 2 splats right here as well, we have a Tomb of Identify. So those are absolute go-tos, absolute musts in my book. Now we've also switched up the mercenary as well. Maybe you've seen my Act 2 mercenary walking back and forth, but we decided to go with the Act 2 Might mercenary just so he'll deal a little bit more damage, but we're not really relying on him for damage or relying on him for magic find or anything like that. He's pretty much just a walking around aura. He does actually put out good damage with this insight though, but really it's the meditation aura for teleporting around, so we never really have to worry about mana. But even with that being said, with an Ethereal Cryptic Axe Insight, 185 to 810 damage on that thing. You can he will quite often kill stuff before you even get a chance to with this weapon, but getting that aura to keep your mana up, teleporting around, super important. We got Andarl's Visage and Fortitude over here. Just kind of a standard caster actually set up there for the Act 2 Mercenary. But we went with the Might Mercenary. Also, you don't want to have any cold damage on this build or on your Mercenary. You don't want any bodies to shatter, so that's why I didn't go with the Frozen Aura here on the Act 2 Mercenary. Now we'll go ahead and try this first of all at the exact same spot that we went ahead and used the last one at, and that is out here at Shank. So you can teleport over, swap to the right weapon, and chop him down, and look how much faster that is, and then go ahead and find item. You actually got a second chance there, luckily. A lot of the times on the other one, we didn't get a second chance, but you can cycle through these so much faster. Just for an example, come down here, shout it up real quick, teleport over, the movement speed's crazy, and the kill speed is just not even close. Boom, we could be moving on to the next one. The good thing, if you aren't sacrificing as much, you could actually even go to places that aren't near the waypoint because you have this insane movement speed. Now, this is going to be primarily a player's one type of build targeting the champions and elites and stuff like that. So you can haul these guys away, target the actual one you want right there. Boom. And that elite right there, even though this is not a terror zone, this is an 85 area, which means these guys, like this lady right here, could drop every single unique item in the game. You could find Tyrell's Might, you could find yourself a Griffin's, you could find yourself a D-Web, you can find all those things. So this is actually the premier magic finder in the entire game. Probably the best holy grail hunter that there is when you're really tracking down, trying to find all of those just insanely rare uniques. A lot of you probably have heard me say on this channel, if you're a regular, how I'm still looking for my Tyrell's Might. I may have to try this build out once again in the future. Now you can see, as for your clear speed, your kill speed, all that good stuff, you're really not sacrificing a lot, because specifically all I want to find when I do use this in the near future here is that Tyrell's Might. So I don't really care about all these other monsters. We howl them away. We can kill, boom, down that champion goes, and he dropped this unique Bullrog Blade. It's ethereal, actually. Flame Bellow. Interesting one. I always wish Flame Bellow was better. Interesting that it dropped ethereal. Not really any use for that or whatever, but can move on. But yeah, this is the most magic find. Logically, I would recommend anybody stack up. Really, it's kind of like if you're a holy grailing. Maybe not the best ladder starter. It's going to be hard to get some of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's not impossible to get, like the Artisan's Tiara with the 3ists in it and the rolled with magic find on it as well. This is actually an item that's been used by a ton of holy grailers in the past. Speaking of, oh my gosh, an ethereal lacerator. I guess that's why you use this, folks. This is the second time in my life I found an ethereal lacerator. The first one was on LOD, and we found one now. It's always nice finding that for the video, huh, fellas? But yeah, that's why you stack up a bunch of magic find, I guess, huh? And yeah, that's how good this character could work. So if you're doing a holy grail, this is one you absolutely gotta try.